7 o'clock.
On the clock, 7 o'clock? Okay, 7:00 p.m. Okay, let's have a pledge to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, well, thank you. Yesterday we had a VP debate, and the good news is they were okay, but they blamed the guys above them, you know, each, it was kind of unusual. So I'll never miss a meeting because I know what's going to happen if that happens. Roll call. Yeah.
Mark Foltz.
Here.
Mark Frazier.
Here.
Francis Griffith.
Here.
Kelly Schmidt here. Troy Perlman.
Here. Agenda. Anything to add? Add? No?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second by Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, your minutes are typed. September 4th. September 4th.
Motion to approve the agenda, or the minutes.
Sorry. Who did? I did. Oh, I'll second them then. Troy. Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. That brings us to public hearing for the ambulance assessment opening at what time, Troy?
It's 7:01.
Oh, good. Okay. I gotta read this. The next order of business is a consideration of the assessment rule for Perry Township Ambulance Service Special Assessment District of 2024, which has been prepared by the assessing office of the township in accordance with Resolution 5-2024, adopted on September 4th, 2024 by the Perry Township Board. Kelly?
Proper notice of hearing on the proposed assessment rule has been mailed by first class mail, published and posted at the Township Hall and on the website. The assessment rule that includes the cost per parcel is available for anyone who would like to inspect it.
Okay. Are there any objections or comments regarding the proposed assessment rule? You will have 5 minutes to talk. Okay. Do we have any discussion from the public or the board? The board. Okay. The Perry Township Board, after legal notice given, has conducted a public hearing upon the proposed assessment rule prepared by the assessing office of the township for the purpose of defraying a portion of the cost of the ambulance service within the Perry Township Ambulance Service Special Assessment District of 2024. Comments were received from those present from the public hearing, and an opportunity was given to be heard in the matter. There were no written objections received, by the way. The board has inspected and proposed an assessment roll and considered all comments and have forwarded the rolls to be correct, just, and reasonable. The board has found that adequate time has been given for the consideration of the matter. The public hearing is closed at
7:03.
7:03 p.m. Be it resolved by resolution, this one, 6-2024, the assessment roll submitted by the assessing officer of the township shall be designated by the Perry Township Ambulance Special Assessment District of 2024. The annual assessment upon each parcel of real property in the Special Assessment District shall be established as follows. The taxable value of the parcel shall be multiplied by the number of units located upon the parcel. The product of this multiplication shall be multiplied by $120, then divided by the taxable value of the parcel. The resulting number shall be the special assessment for the parcel for the first year. In the future years, during the term of the Special Assessment District, the annual assessment shall remain the same as the prior year unless the Township Board redetermines the amount at the first meeting of the board held in September of each year. So that'd be next year. In the event that the board determines that an increase greater than 10% more than the prior year is necessary, notice will be given and a public hearing will be held to authorize such increase. The assessments made on said assessment roll are hereby ordered and directed by collected by the township treasurer with the winter taxes this year, right?
Yes.
And the clerk shall deliver said assessment roll to the treasurer with her warrant attached, commanding the treasurer to collect the assessment in accordance with the statute. The duration of this district shall be for 10 years. All other resolutions or parts of conflict with provisions of this resolution are hereby rescinded. I need a motion to approve Resolution 6-2024, which defrays a portion of the cost of the ambulance service within the Perry Township Ambulance Service Special Assessment District 2024.
So moved.
Troy?
Second.
Mark? Frazier? Second. The resolution is duly adopted. Kelly?
The roll call, Mark Frazier,
Yes.
Francis Griffith.
Yes.
Kelly Schmidt, yes. Troy Irmo.
Yes.
Me?
Oh, did I forget you?
After all that talk.
Mark Foltz.
Yes. Passed. That was funny. Okay, you have to kind of, hear me read that. Okay, so that is done. That one is done, right, Troy?
Yes.
Next one is number 7, 2024. And what time is it, Troy?
7:05.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, audience. 7:05, and this is the public hearing for Spartan Fence. Phil is here, Mike is here. Hi. There he is, okay. The public hearing for Spartan Fence Incorporated Industrial Facilities Exemption Certificate Renewal was opened at 7:05 p.m. After hearing all,
No, we need to open it up.
oh,
Sorry. Open it up.
public hearing is open. Justin, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I'll kick it off.
Okay.
Obviously, I want to support, Mike and Phil. I think they've done an outstanding job, not only with their own business, but, they've invested in building multiple buildings right here in the township. Been here a long time, and have been getting business members of the community. And I know this is the normal protocol for all the people in the room that may not know. I know the board knows that the township policy is to have these renewals every 2 years, just to do a check-in and whatnot, make sure everything's on track. And, I think, they continue to be a good, solid business for this area. So I would certainly support another 2-year extension for the company.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, we're happy with that, okay. After hearing all, the public hearing for Spartan Fence IFT renewal application is closed at
7:07.
7:07 p.m. Okay, resolution 7-2024. Whereas Spartan Fence has filed application for the IFT certification renewal with the Perry Township Industrial Industrial Development District, Spartan Fence Incorporated. Before acting on said application, the Township Board held public hearing October 2nd, 2024 to hear the applicant, assessor, and representatives of the taxing unit affected. Proper notices was given by the first-class mail published in the Argus Press and was posted at the Township Hall on the website. The personal property investment had not begun earlier than 6 months before January 31st, 2018, the date of the acceptance of the initial application for the IFT certification, and reasonable likelihood to retain, create, or prevent the loss of employment in the Township of Perry. The aggressive SEV of,
Aggregate.
excuse me?
Aggregate.
The aggregate.
The aggregate.
Oh, the aggregate SEV, thank you, of real and personal property exempt from ad valorem taxes with the township after granting this certificate renewal will not exceed 5% of the amount equal to the sum of the SEV of the unit plus the SEV of the personal and real property thus exempted. Page 2. Therefore, be it resolved that the Township Board finds that the granting of the IFT certification renewal shall not affect the operation of the township or impair the financial soundness of a taxing unit which levies ad valorem property taxes in the township. I need a motion to approve the application for Spartan Fence IFT certification renewal on the parcels of real property within the Perry Township Industrial Park Industrial Development District, Spartan Fence Incorporated. The location known as Perry Township Industrial Park, Perry Township lots 1 and 2 for a period of 2 years. Who moved? Someone move?
Motion.
Motion by Mark,
Second.
second by Butch. The supervisor or clerk of the township.
No,
We gotta vote.
Oh,
No, we gotta
it's
go to the
it's
end
coming
of
up.
it, it's
The
fine.
supervisor of the clerk, the supervisor or the clerk of the township is authorized to sign the affidavit of fees declaring that no payment of any kind was paid in excess of the fees allowed in Act 198. What's Act 198?
It's the act. They're on.
The Act. The supervisor or clerk of the township authorized to sign the FT certificate letter of agreement This is a renewal of certificate 2018-129, tax ID 78014-99-400-006, and the second one 78014-99-400-007. Roll call.
Okay,
Kelly?
so, roll call. Francis Griffith,
Yes.
Kelly Schmidt, yes. Troy Parmalee,
Yes.
Mark Foltz,
Yes.
Mark Frazier.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. And Kelly, I'm going to, Mark Frazier made the, also, instead of Butch, put Francis Griffith, okay?
I have Mark Frazier moved, Francis Griffith seconded.
Exactly,
Yes.
because I called you Butch, that's his nickname.
Okay.
So we'll make this official. Okay. Resolution has been adopted. Thank you, okay? That's two. What time are we done? I guess we don't have to end the time.
And you guys will have to sign the agreement like you have each.
I have that here.
Okay.
Just stop by before you leave.
We would be happy to.
Okay.
Because it has to be notarized, so.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it. Okay, next on our agenda is public hearing for Lifetime Metals, which Nelson Metals Incorporated doing business as Lifetime Metals Sales and Industrial Facility Exemption Certificate, IFT. The public hearing for Nelson Metals Sales doing business as Lifetime Metals Sales Industrial Facility Exemption Certificate was opened at
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. That sounds good. Okay.
Okay,
After hearing
open it up.
all, let's open the public hearing. She didn't tell me about that. Open the public hearing.
I'll kick it off
Okay.
and then I'll
Thank
have Ken talk. So, there's two things we want to cover here. Ken, love to have you obviously update the board on what's going on with the company. We're grateful to have Lifetime up and running now. Great addition to our business community. Really fits the township in this area very well. I won't steal your thunder, Ken. We do have a bit of a complication though on the IFT paperwork, and I will cover that after you get an update from Ken. I'll explain that whole process. So maybe if Ken, if you want to give an update to the board.
Yeah, sure. So we technically began in mid-August. We got our certification of occupancy. Since then, we've been full bore. We make metal roofing and siding, and we've been real pleased with the community and the interest in the community. We've had a lot of customers, a lot of contractors come by. So yeah, we couldn't be more thrilled with the way things started off. I hope some of you had a hamburger on our dime at our open house. I think you and I talked for a while, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Mark?
Good old town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all is well.
Okay. Any more comments, public?
Yeah, let me, if I might. Yeah, so I'm going to try to explain this. It gets a little complicated. And Troy, I've been working with to make sure we get this right at the township level. So I'm going to test your memory here. So we came in front of this board many months ago to establish an industrial development district. That is a requirement of these programs. In fact, nothing can start project-wise before that is created, which we did. I think Ryan was here. You might have been here too, Ken. I know Ryan was here for a while, Ryan Jarman.
Yeah.
So Township did that. Everything was good. And then the process began to build the factory. And it obviously took a while. I don't know, what was the start from beginning to finish, Ken?
I'd say September.
So about a year.
Yeah, but maybe more November to September.
Yeah, it took a while. So, and once again, I'll try to boil it down. If you have more technical questions, let me know. So, one of the issues at the time, and we stayed in touch with, Ken and Ryan about this, particularly Ryan, there was uncertainty in terms of what some of the costs were, particularly, I think, on some of the interior stuff. So, there wasn't a clear at the time budget, like, this is exactly what the project's gonna cost, still working on getting things going. So time passed, up to now. So here's where we're at, and the challenge we have. And there is a solution, so there is good news at the end of this story. So the way the state law works, this Public Act 198, is you got to have the district in place, but then when you actually have the hearing and approve the application, which is ahead of you tonight, they only allow a 6-month look back of investment. So obviously, as you heard here, it's more than 6 months, it's more like 10 or 11 months that it actually took. So we are now past that 6-month look back. So we've run into a bit of a time crunch. It's kind of weird how this program's set up because they want you to put in, ideally, exact investment amounts, of capital, machinery, equipment, and building and all that. But when it takes that long, you can't necessarily give the most accurate numbers. What should have happened, and I'll take responsibility for this, what should have happened is we probably, within that first 6 months, when the project started, we probably should have swagged a number, to be honest with you. Even though it wasn't exact, there could have been an opportunity to amend that. And I just didn't push hard enough on that, quite honestly. So the long and the short of it is, we're in this pinch now. And so I inquired with the state economic development, actually, no, let me take that back. Troy inquired with the state tax commission. And state tax commission said there is an alternative solution if we can get the support of our state economic development group, Michigan Economic Development. So I got a hold of them, talked to them. There is essentially an appeals process. And if we can get the buy-in from the state economic development group, they can essentially sign on to this and endorse the support of agreeing to the whole abatement. And then they actually set up a special meeting of the state tax commission to authorize this. So, so what we need to do and what we are doing, we would certainly need the township board to approve the abatement tonight. And the paperwork has been turned in. But then we also essentially need to write an appeals letter, which Ryan has already done, or Lifetime has already done. We're doing ourselves. And then that gets submitted to the state economic development. Then they basically bless it, and we've talked to them, and they're, supportive right now. And then that goes to the tax commission. So it's an arduous process. It's state government bureaucracy at the end of the day. But I think we have a pathway. I think there's a narrative here that justifies, because of the timing of this and the communication and all that, why our story works and why they've created it. What they don't want with this program is someone to build the building, do all the work, and then come in and say, I want something. That wasn't the case here. The company was in early on before the project started. This was just timing of getting the paperwork in. So they're not trying to take advantage of the situation. So I think we have a compelling story. Okay. So if the board approves tonight, we'll issue a letter. Lifetime's issued a letter. It'll go to MEDC and then to the tax commission.
So what will happen is if the board approves it, we will forward it on to the state. The state will reject it.
Yes.
Because the timing was wrong, and
Yes.
then from there it goes to the MEDC.
Correct. Correct.
So our submission is only once, and then it goes,
Yeah, we'll be done. We'll be done, but it will get a notice back saying it's been rejected.
okay, and then what?
Then
Do we have to,
we don't have to do anything more. Justin will help
Yeah, I'll
with the
help.
MEDC part.
The only thing
It's
you
not, it's not really,
yeah.
we don't have anything to appeal. It's
Right.
the company.
so
It's
we
the
don't
company.
have to submit any other paperwork other than this?
That paperwork in our letter, we will submit our letters as part of the appeal
Altogether?
process. No.
Separate, okay,
Send
It'll
our
be
application
separate,
just
yeah.
like normal.
okay.
Yeah. The only thing, Troy, the board might want to consider is maybe, I don't
A
know,
letter of
a
support.
resolution or a letter of support saying, hey, we know what happened, but we still like to see this company
Sure.
get taxed.
Outlining that we understand.
Yeah. So that'd be a letter.
We shouldn't do that before
No,
we do it.
Yeah, no.
First.
But I think if the boards are willing, after you take action on that, if you're willing to have a resolution to go with ours and Lifetime, I think that's a cohesive front, so.
The issue is you cross tax years. That's
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah. It's just a complicated
Because
process.
January 1 is a sacred day in property taxes, so.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Justin, okay, thank you. And does the board have any questions for Justin on this?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Hopefully that story was clear enough and not too long.
All right, So after all of the hearing.
The application, we should have been acting on it like last February, March, basically is the long and the short, yeah.
All right, so anyway, so public hearing for,
You need to see if there's
any more additional comments? All right, thank you, Ken, for being here.
My pleasure.
The public hearing for Nelson Metal, doing business as Lifetime Metal Sales, IFT, application is closed at
7:20.
7:20 PM. Resolution is number 8-2024. Whereas Nelson Metals Incorporated do business as Lifetime Metal Sales, who has a lease agreement with Nelson Holding Company, Perry, LLC, and who has filed an application for an industrial facility exemption certificate and a new personnel and real property investment within the Perry Township Industrial Development District, Nelson Holding Company, Perry, LLC. Before acting on this application, the Township Board held a public hearing on October 2nd, 2024, to hear the applicant, assessor, representatives of the taxing unit affected. Proper notice was given by first-class mail, published in the Argus Press, posted at the Township Hall, and on the website. The completion of the facility is calculated to, and at the time of issuance of the certificate, have reasonable likelihood to retain, create, and prevent the loss of employment in the Township of Perry. Page 2, the aggregate SEV of real and personal property exempt from ad valorem taxes within the township after granting this certificate will not exceed 5% of the amount equal to the sum of the SEV of the unit plus the SEV of personal and real property thus exempted. Therefore, it be resolved that the Township Board finds that the granting of the IFT certificate shall not affect the operation of the township or impair the financial soundness of the taxing unit, which levies ad valorem property taxes.
Valorem.
Ad valorem.
Latin.
Ad valorem. Property taxes in the township. Now, I need a motion to approve the application for an IFT certificate of somebody Nelson Metal Sales doing business as Lifetime Metal Sales, who has a lease agreement with Nelson Holding Company, Perry, LLC, for parcel ID 014-11-300-005-01, which is within the Perry Township Industrial Development District, Nelson Holding Company, Perry, LLC, for a period of 2 years. Motion has been made by Mark, seconded by,
I'll second.
Butch did.
What's the,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Francis. Okay, the supervisor or clerk of the township is authorized to sign the affidavit of fees declaring that no payment of any kind was paid in excess of the fee allowed in Act 198. The supervisor or clerk of the township is authorized to sign the IFT certificate letter of agreement. Okay, Kelly, roll call.
Okay. Hold on a minute, roll call. Kelly Schmidt, yes. Troy Parmalee?
Yes.
Mark Foltz?
Yes.
Mark Frazier?
Yes.
Francis Griffin?
Okay. Resolution 8-2024 is declared adopted.
so what in a nutshell, all that long language was, we have to certify that does not, we don't have so many of these that it could cause an adverse problem with property tax revenue.
Okay.
That's what 3 of those paragraphs.
We're glad to have you. And now, how many people have you got employed right now in the?
We have 5,
Five.
and
Okay.
it's going to the point where I just got done cutting metal to come here.
Oh, you're working, okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
we need some help.
Because I think you said there could be as many as 8 or 9 down the road.
Yeah, I think we'll hit that
All right, thank you.
pretty soon.
Okay.
So,
All right.
the letter of support, do we need to make
We'll do that next month.
next month?
Okay. Public comments, open, first time for public comments, okay. Sheriff's report.
It's on pink paper.
Yeah, got left in the printer.
Last month we had 124 calls for service, of which 35 were traffic stops.
Okay. CISA, Mark?
Well, not a whole lot new on the horizon there, with the exception that we did approve negotiations. We got somebody that wants to buy the ladder truck. And Bennington has asked us if if they can't arrive at an agreement with LSW, because LSW raised their fire protection millage
Oh,
to 2 mills, and ours is, with the add-on is 1.75, so they cover 6 or 7 sections along the west side of the township, and they ask if we would be willing to take that if they can't get LSW to, so we agreed to it. Whether that happens or not, I don't know.
okay.
We also have a tentative agreement with the union for a new contract.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, well, that's good.
I mean, it hasn't been, CISA hasn't ratified it yet, but the union has.
Okay, well, that's good. Mark, is that it?
Yep.
That's it? Okay, DDA, we meet the 16th of October, that's a Wednesday night, it's at 6:30 DDA. And a little news, over by Lifetime, over by Leslie's building that you sold, huh?
Redinger.
Render, consumers installed a new light pole there, the one's got hit, and you saw that, and it is working, and so that was an amazing thing. She told me today, and so, yeah, so amazing how things work out. She said to me, "Mark, you got pool." I said, "If only you knew how long it's been." But they did install it, so that's a good sign. Okay. You didn't know that, probably.
You told me.
Oh, I told you. Well, there you go. Zoning. Okay, we had one 6x24 front deck on 1 acre parcel in Rayland Hills. We got Nelson Holding, construction of a metal sign for Nelson Holding. Is that up? Okay. We got Lansing Road, install a water guard subfloor drainage system, and okay. And then we got back on Thornapple, the last house on that road. They're installing 2 additions, a 10x10 sunroom and a 16x8 master bath. That's happening. And then we got the village, trailer park. We got
Moving in a new trailer.
well, something else, some monuments. Okay, remove old ground sign, replace with a new 10x7 foot sign. Yeah, right. Setback information. So that's on Country Street. And then we've got on Roos Road, north of Roos Road, there, 16x40 addition to a barn, existing barn, and that's all we have on that. Yeah. Okay. County Commissioners, not here. Library, Mark.
Really not a whole lot from their, they talked about the grant they got that brought in that author and stuff that wrote The Firekeeper's Daughter. They talked about some new things they want to try to do. Other than that,
Okay.
that's about it.
Okay. All right, Mark. Troy, your trade quarter, I-69 trade?
No meeting.
No, none. Okay, Mark, back to SEDP.
Well, the big thing that we did at the SEDP board meeting was we reapproved the Lion Bear contract on the grant writer, and the difference is the no-cost help with the grants is for communities, not business. Businesses have to pay. It's the
Oh.
community. So if we have a grant we want to try to go after and we need her help, we can certainly contribute to the effort, but we don't have to.
Oh, okay.
That's part of that. And then Monday, when the land bank was formed, the state land bank and some other members of the community fronted the money to have a housing study done for the county.
Oh,
And we can get that information for our township if we need it. Now, we've been granted a pretty good-sized grant from the state to bring in a firm and actually write a housing plan for the county. And so the kickoff meetings for that were Monday. The first one was basically banks and so forth, I think. The second one was builders predominantly, and the third one was communities and so forth, and I attended the third one. And what they were doing is they were just trying to get input from the people in the county as to what they felt was needed and the obstacles that people have been facing with trying to build affordable housing. Our problem is the cost of a house today is significantly higher than what that house will bring on the market. And it's just the nature of the beast, but we need to find a way to help that get past. And we have found some ways with some of the projects the land bank has done. So we're hoping that we can find more. This is part of the process of doing this. So that's really what the big thing was at SNDP. In the land bank, just kind of went over things that we had going on, and the two big things that you can see have happened. Welcome Inn is gone up by Walmart on 21. If you drive by that, it's a nice green space, and that whole motel that was kind of a haven for homeless is gone. And then the building in Durand on Main Street, but it was kind of the corner building. That one was being held up by a tree. And that was another one of the Blake Grant deals, and that one is gone. So that's been all handled, and the ground's all done. So those are the predominant things. We're working on some other things, trying to get the third round stuff across the finish line. There's some issues, because with everyone, the source of the base money changes, and it changes the rules. And we have to go back, and it's, Brent, I don't know if anybody's ever seen Brent without a hat on. He's just about, all his hair's gone, because he handles most of the stuff, so. But, it's really, and then we had a meeting, a walkthrough of the properties in Lennon that used to be the window factory, a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And already have at least 2 developers that are interested in purchasing those lots to put houses on them. And there's a possibility that elementary school could also be converted to apartments or something. There's a possibility that could follow. With the dredge plant going in south of Lennon, it's going to create a need for housing and for other businesses. And there was, in the Blake grants, it paid for 2 buildings to be removed, or part of 2 buildings, part of the cost of it downtown that were destroyed by fire and stuff. That I can easily see a couple more restaurants being there. 150 people is what they intend to employ at that dredge plant. And, you know, it's not that far to Durand, but it's far enough if you're on a lunch hour, so. Having places closer by is probably gonna become more, so that could help Lennon, because Lennon's kinda, I don't know, treading water there. But they're trying.
Yeah.
We have, there's a group from their DDA and from their planning commission that have literally made every land bank meeting. It's just, so, but that's pretty basically what's going on.
Anything to add, Justin?
That was a great report. The only 2 quick things, one in round 3, that is actually starting Friday, they're doing the walkthroughs. And one of the properties is gonna be a house in Morris that's
Right.
being torn down. I can't remember the address, but it's a really dilapidated house in Morris, so that's local.
Okay.
And that one is interesting because it went on the tax rolls, but there was a court order for it to be
Tax sale.
torn, or tax sale.
Oh,
And there was a court order that it had to be torn down. The village ended up buying it,
okay.
and it's gonna end up as the village's until they decide what to do with it.
Yeah. And then the other thing I'd mention, this kind of ties into Lennon, but would affect the whole county. We are monitoring a very large potential development by Bishop Airport, Mundy Township.
Okay,
You probably have heard about this. So we're not doing any mega stuff in Shiawassee County. But this one is in Mundy. It's a chip manufacturer. And it's 7 miles east of the Shiawassee County line. So it's very close to Lennon, Durand, down here. Anyway, 10,000 new jobs.
wow.
$55 billion investment, chip manufacturer, on about 1,000 acres in Mundy Township, right by the airport.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Okay.
getting very, very close. That's the market intelligence I'm getting. So once again, it's not in Shiawassee, but if you put that kind of plant
Pretty close.
7 miles from Shiawassee, I think the demand for housing will go up. I mean, certainly Lennon, Durand, maybe even this far, So we're monitoring that because it would have an impact.
Okay.
So,
Thanks, Justin.
you're welcome.
Okay, Mark, back to the planning commission, our local planning
Well,
commission.
at the last meeting, we went over our work on the zoning ordinance. And Beth also told us what the DDA and Morris is up to. And Tom Emery came and talked about the Cohocton Township is preparing to fight the state over the siting by the state of solar and wind facilities. And he's talked to the county about gaining information from what Cohocton is gonna do, so. He spent quite a bit of time
Yes, he
discussing
did.
that,
Yes, he did, for sure.
so
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Okay, Mark. Okay. Thank you. So Troy, let's look at the bills and the financial report.
All right, you've got your bills listed in front of you. Excuse me. There wasn't anything huge out of the ordinary. I'll just point out a couple of things. We did have our cleanup from the storm damage at the cemetery. And on the income side, you'll see we got a reimbursement from the insurance company.
Oh, good. Already?
Yep.
Wow.
Came yesterday.
Kelly, good job. Wow.
And then, had a final bill on the audit.
We got our mulch redone.
And, we got our mulch.
It was
Yeah,
under, it
mulch.
was under budget,
Yeah,
so.
good. That was good.
So on the budget today, when you look through that, we are halfway through the fiscal year.
So
So-
how much was the insurance? What they give us?
Well, we had $1,000 deductible, so we got
Okay.
$67.75 back.
About $7,000.
Okay. Yeah.
Had some trees go down, et cetera, et cetera.
So,
Quite a bit of cleanup.
any questions on the bills?
Excellent.
Motion to pay.
Mark, okay, motion to pay. Butch, okay, second by Butch. Roll call vote.
Mark Foltz?
Yes.
Mark Frazier?
Yes.
Francis Griffin? Kelly Schmidt, yes. Troy Carmel?
Yes. Correspondence, Kelly.
We did get some notices from the drain office that,
From the doctors.
yeah, there's gonna be some, drains cleaned, basically.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what these are, do you know which ones they are? Is that one, WLP?
Oh, Williamston Lock and Pier.
And then this one. DeBoer.
Yeah, it's
Section 5 and 6 of the northern part.
in, township.
So anyway, there's work being done on those drains.
Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, I have one thing, I went to a seminar last Wednesday at Eagle, and it was at the, down at, off Beck Road, at Novi Event Center. There were about 400 people there, and I did have a chance to meet again with the director of Eagle. He lives in Flushing, Michigan, Phil Roos, and he remembered me from April when I went in Kalamazoo. I told him about the Lansing grant that we're working on through Swatman's office, $1.2 million to get the water line down Lansing Road, Bitter Drive, and back to the high school. Talked to him about the letter from the head of the schools, the dirty water. The kids have to bring bottled water, the teachers have to bring bottled water, and he said, let me give you my business card. He reached in his pocket and pulled out some things. Finally got the business card, fell on the floor. Anyway, we traded cards, and I told him, he said, would you put that in writing? Send it to my email. I did it on Friday. He sent me back a message Saturday that he would, first of the week, he'd get with his contact under him and have him talk to me, contact me. We have done that over the last, yesterday and today. We have a, what kind of meeting is it?
Teams.
Team meeting, October 22nd, with 3 people from Eagle to discuss the mutual agreement that needs to occur between the city of Perry and Perry Township over the water. As you know, I worked at the city of Flint. We had a mutual agreement with Genesee County and the city of Flint, and I'm getting a copy of that as we speak. They're working on that for me. They still have an agreement if they lose water. Right now, they're not. The backup is through the city of Flint, so there is a mutual agreement now. So we want to get that information so we're prepared. So that was a good meeting, and so I'm glad I went to the session. So that's all I had to report on that. Let's see.
Porta-John is coming out of the cemetery at the end of the month, because it's that time of year.
Oh, because it's winter. Yeah, okay, no
And the
cemetery.
water will probably be turned off by November 1st down at the
Oh, okay,
cemetery.
yeah, that's right. Any unfinished business? Kelly,
No.
Troy? New business, our audit committee.
All right, so you have your audit report in the box there. I'm not gonna go through it page by page, but, everything was done, everything's fine. Everything's been submitted to the state. They submitted it with about an hour and a half to spare Monday night,
Oh my,
which was a little closer than I would have preferred they had done it, but
wow.
they had some extra work to do in it because of our transaction with the fire trucks and stuff and that.
Oh,
That became more complicated. That did cause our audit to cost more than our agreement is, and so I've asked Luke to give me a letter stating that amount, because our agreement with CISA was if we incurred any extra cost, they would reimburse it. So he's gonna give me that letter, and then we will be reimbursed for that. I don't know if anyone looked through it ahead of time or had any questions, or it was in your boxes yesterday, but no, we didn't need to make a motion to accept it and place it on file.
so one question though, so this letter will be forthcoming and you'll submit it to the CISA?
What letter?
The-
Oh, you're talking about the cost? Yes.
Okay,
Make a motion that we accept the audit.
Mark? Okay, Butch, all in favor, roll call vote, Kelly?
Troy Farmley.
Yes.
Mark Foltz.
Yes.
Mark Frazier.
Yes.
Francis Griffith.
Yes.
Julie Schmidt, yes.
And just so everyone knows, this is the same company that did it last year, so it's the same outfit from clerk. Okay, and Kelly, bead letter of support, something that to come out of your
Justin ought to
office.
talk about
Justin?
that.
Oh, yeah, wow, you're on it, Kelly. So here's the quick story. We've made a lot of progress in this county to get internet throughout the county, high-speed internet. But we got a long way to go, and I'm sure there's parts of Perry Township that need that. We know we have multiple providers in the area, but we have a unique opportunity, and what this letter is about. There's a group based down in southeast Michigan called 123net. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of them. But here's the deal. They are going to apply for this BEAD money. Basically, it's grant money from the federal government to deploy internet. So it's kind of like, remember when they had the Rural Electrification Act? So the goal here basically is a grant to do the same for internet, fiber internet, not wireless, fiber. So what they want to do is they want to do this in Shiawassee County and basically serve every inch of the county that doesn't have it now. So if we get the money and they deploy this, we could literally say to a developer or business, everywhere in Shiawassee County has fiber.
You said this is gonna cover underserved also, right?
Yes, underserved, yes. So non-served and underserved. There are people that have internet, but it's really slow.
Really
Or it
bad.
doesn't work, really bad. So in real numbers, this is interesting. I learned a stat. 30% of our spots in Shiawassee are not served or underserved,
Really?
which kind of feels about right. 30,
I'm
I mean,
surprised it's not more.
yeah. I mean, in and around the cities, they're pretty well covered, but you get in the rural area. So, long story short, what's good about them, what I like about their model is they would build out the infrastructure, but then they can actually lease the infrastructure to people like Daystar. So Daystar is a local provider. They can't go after this money at that size because they're just not big enough. They can do little chunks. This would build the whole county out. So it'd be big, right? And the money's there, so if we don't go for it, it's gonna go to some other rural county in Michigan or somewhere else. So they asked us to send letters out to all of the local governments, townships, villages, cities, and no financial commitment, there's no money being asked for, but they're just looking for a letter of support because they wanna show the government that the local community would like to have more internet. So that's what I sent you.
So this isn't competing with Daystar.
No, so what we're trying to do, I will tell you this, Troy, I had this conversation with Daystar today. So they would build it out, they could lease it to Daystar, they could lease it to other internet companies too. So it's not totally all gonna go to Daystar as far as lease, it'll be up to them. We would like to strengthen that, because I told these guys, I said, Daystar is the group we work with very closely. They're locally based, they got great customer service. So we're working on that to try to ensure Daystar would get their fair share of this access to the network. So we'd like to see that agreement in place as part of the application, but you know, Daystar can't serve everywhere either, and this would try to serve everywhere in the county.
So where's this located again?
They're based in Southfield.
Oh, down south.
Yeah.
They did, I've seen them doing a bunch of work last year, like on Grand River or
Yeah.
Weberville area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know,
So,
once
but I
again,
mean, Daystar's okay with this.
yes.
I mean, they're not, you know, I mean, we've done letters of support for Daystar, I mean, that's why I don't.
They're okay with it. They're okay with it. I don't know how to, not to go too far in the rabbit hole tonight. So they work with them now. So there are cases where they work with them collaboratively. In some cases, there's a bit of a competition. A word I've made up is co-opetition. So cooperating, competing, sometimes it just depends. They've worked with them, they're good with them, so they're aware.
Daystar has made it clear there's areas they're just not interested.
Exactly, Troy. So that's what I'm trying to, that's the end goal of this, is if Daystar wants to get onto this network that 123 would build out, great. But if it's other parts of the county, Daystar's not gonna play in, maybe it's a Lennon Telephone or another local provider. So, but behind the scenes, we're trying to work to make sure that these groups are working together, so.
Well, yeah, because you know, let's just say that down my road, for
Yeah.
example, they want to do it there, you know,
Yeah.
because Daystar is at the Ford dealer, you know, I mean, they're there, so, you know, they're close.
But I know Morris looked into it, and Daystar really wasn't interested in doing anything in Morris.
No,
So, but if they build this out, they could literally lease that infrastructure in Morris and operate
It
it,
gives
you
an
know.
opportunity for construction.
Yeah, the problem with this thing is, because it's federal money, there's so much bureaucracy, and small companies like Daystar, it just, you can't undertake it. You gotta be a bigger company. You know, and on the flip side, you have people like Spectrum, and they've done a lot of internet in the county, but they only own and operate. They would be pure competition.
Sure.
So I think this is a bit of a sweet spot to get more internet throughout the county, but then also give access to local providers. So
When do they plan on doing this, you know, John?
they are submitting an application this fall. I don't know how long it'll take to get the awards back. Federal government has been absolutely atrocious, to be honest with you, in getting any of this money out the door, which probably doesn't shock
Can you
a
do
lot of
me a
people.
favor, can you put the email, their address, their actual address to us on an email? So, because I would rather put on my letterhead stationery to send it and tell me, and then I'll send it.
Oh, yeah,
I'd rather
yeah,
than this.
yeah, we can do that.
Well, I'll make a motion, we authorize a letter of support for the 123 down that.
Second.
Second by Mark, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Now,
yes.
if TDS, quote, say that they're gonna start doing fiber next year.
Butch, they have had
I
zero.
know, that's why I said, you know, they
Yeah.
said, but will that interfere if they started or anything, you think?
Well, I will say this right up front. TDS has had zero engagement with our organization. They've never called us. I wouldn't even know who to talk to. Now, what they're gonna do, Butch, and they're gathering some information, they will literally submit in their grant like a map. So they will say, we will serve these roads in these townships, wherever in Shiawassee County. So what'll happen, it depends on what TDS is looking to do. The federal government will evaluate this whole package, then they'll look at their maps and say, yeah, whatever. So it just depends on like who's got what and what application's in and what their timing is and all that. So if there's already stuff, there's all kinds of maps out there, it's crazy, and most of them aren't even accurate, right? Because there's so many maps that it says you got high-speed internet, and the person's like, no, I don't. It could impact it, Butch. I don't know the answer for sure, though.
So just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
because I heard it, quote.
Yeah, I mean, it makes zero sense, to be honest with you, from a private sector standpoint, because of the cost of fiber in these rural areas, it doesn't. So the only way it gets done are these government subsidies.
Makes sense.
You know, and once again, my general philosophy is, if they're gonna dole this money out to all these places across America, why not get that money for Shiawassee
I'm
County?
with you on
You
that
know?
100%.
You
Our
know?
internet
Yeah,
sucks.
yes, I'm with you.
That's the honest truth.
I'm with you, Butch.
You turn on 2 computers and then
You're screwed.
hang it up. Bloop,
Well,
bloop,
when
bloop.
we were doing township meetings
Yeah, on Zoom.
by Zoom, Butch would come to my house because mine was better and we'd still lose it
And this is
3 or 4
different.
times a meeting and have
Yeah.
to re-hook up. Because
Yeah.
we got TDS,
Yeah.
DSL,
Unbelievable.
you know.
This would be fiber. This is all fiber.
Yeah,
So-
it's, in this township, we have a choice in most of the township, well, Daystar in the populated parts, but out from town,
It's hard.
we've got a choice of TDS or WOW, and they both are probably the worst.
Most of it's
Because
TDS.
we do need that high-speed internet for the kids.
That's right.
They need it in school so
That's
damn
right.
much
Sure.
anymore.
You're right.
You know, and
Sure.
they don't have it.
You're right.
Makes it tough.
You're right.
Okay,
Thank
any
you.
more comments from the public? Public comment session number 2. Thank you all for coming.
October 30th, the next meeting.
Next meeting's October 30th, not, and that's a Wednesday at 7, not, because we have election coming November 4th, right? Well, you know the date.
November 5th.
And we're not meeting on the 5th, we're meeting the week before, October 30th. So I'll have my Halloween costume in order.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.